Right. Okay. Muted. Okay. We're back on. We're back on. So in place of a video this week, because I had quite a lot of things going on, I decided to just do a live stream and answer all of the stupid questions that you guys may have that I clearly ignore on your DMs because I get hundreds of stupid questions every single day. So, hey, without further ado, please drop me your stupid ass questions. Any purchase advice that you guys may have. Oh my god, why is it out of focus? Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm just gonna pick something like out of random because clearly the chat is going super super fast, and yeah. Holy shit. Okay, we commit to 7 hertz. 7 hertz, I lost 7 hertz. Okay, we got a hi-fi channel without sign. Thank you so much, Jaga, for that very, very astute observation. Smash the lid button audio. Oh my god, there's so many questions. Have you tried the 4 acoustic IEM lineup yet? Unfortunately not. There is very little. I know there's one brand called 7 acoustics. There's one brand called 4 acoustics. There is, yeah, very different brands. And unfortunately, unless they send things to me, I don't have any way of actually trying new things out. So hey, 4 acoustics, if you're listening, send it to me now. All right. Anything else? Do you want? Okay, yeah. Here's an interesting question. What are your top 5 albums of all time? Unfortunately, I'm not personally an album listener. I don't like albums. I prefer to pick and choose individual songs personally. But I always like to tell people about the Primary and the Messengers LP, which is should I put it up on screen? Yeah, let me just put it up on screen, I guess. Which is Primary and the Messengers LP. Yeah, this one. I love this album quite a lot. And yeah, I always like to refer to this album whenever I tell people like, oh, you should try and listen. You know, if you want to listen to the kind of music that I like, why not try this one? But in general, I usually don't like to listen to albums, and that's the reason why when you ask me for albums, yeah, I'd prefer to just go with regular music instead. J Knock, thank you for the chat. What keyboard are you using right now? Yeah, hey, the Tiger 80, which is yeah, the Tiger 80, very very foamy sound. I love it. Kindly donated to me by KBD fans as well. Very nice sound, love it. Okay, holy shit, there's so much chat. Oh, okay. Let's go with this one. Crin, I really like the Blessing 2 Dusk. What will be a comparable on-ear headphone option in terms of tuning? This one is quite hard to say because I don't really like to equate IEM tuning with headphone tuning. In these cases, I would say the IEM tuning that I try to do with the Dusk is very similar to the Harman over-ear target. So any headphone that hits the Harman over-ear target. So tentatively maybe the Dan Clark Audio Stealth. I don't know, maybe. Or you could just like EQ it something to like Harman over ear target. Anything else? Critical. In very high-end audio products, would you consider Sony over Bose, Harman Kardon, Marshall, Bowles, and Wilkins? Or what? Would you actually consider Sony over Bose? Oh, okay, I get the question. So he's asking whether or not I would consider Sony as superior to Bose, Harman Kardon, Marshall, and Bowers and Wilkins. It really depends because everyone knows that I hate the Sony like XM5s. And not XM5s, I haven't tried that yet. I haven't tried that yet. Soon. I hate the Sony XM4s. So, but I really like the WF version of the Buds. I thought those were very, very nicely tuned. But of course, Sony has other things, like for example, the RER-Z1R, which is one of my favorite high-end IEMs. And basically, when it comes to Sony, they have this very different philosophies when it comes to both their high-end stuff and then to their consumer stuff. And even the consumer stuff you would consider as high-end because they cost like $500. It's very hard to... So Sure, the high-end stuff, Sony over all of them, but I've heard very good products coming from Harman Kardon. Bose is decent when it comes to their QC, and there's like, yeah, Marshall is terrible. I hate Marshall. I don't know why people praise them so much. And then there's of course Bowles and Wilkins, which is also something that I hate. The P series, terrible. I think is it? Yeah, the Bowles and Wilkins, the P series. Okay, refresh. Uh, what is your best wireless? Yeah, there's another question. It's like best wireless earbuds under $100. I mean, there's a video. Check out the video. Yeah. Oh, DMG Play, thank you for the super chat. Is Moondrop sending you their new headphones? Please review more headphones. Uh, they haven't gotten back to me on that. I clearly put in my interest and said that yeah, I would love to review your new headphones. Please, let me be one of the first. And then they said like yeah, okay. And then now it's kind of like radio silence. Not sure what's going on. But yeah, I'm trying to review more headphones, but the problem with headphones is that they have a very, very limited release window. There's not a lot of headphones that are coming out, especially in recent times. So while I like to talk more about headphones, it's not like the market is letting me because there's really not a lot of new releases. And the ones that do release are like super expensive that I can't really ask like review units for because they don't really like me, but story for a different time. Okay, who is the other one? Jeff, thank you. When will you collab with yowuchan? Oh, yowuchan. Yeah, so let me see if I can find it. Where's that? Where's my box for that? Yeah, so in case you guys don't already know, well, this is the cat ear headphones that I bought, which is from Yowu. And yeah, it's actually for my sequel to the new TikTok video, so to speak. Yeah. So whenever the TikTok 2 reaction comes out, that's gonna be one of the main reactions I'm gonna do. Okay. Anything else? Some random programmer, thank you. Again, Crane, what would you recommend for the best bang for buck USB? Oh my god, USB amp. Wait, USB amp? Okay, so USB usually at that point means that it's a DAC. An amp only amplifies whatever the DAC outputs. So I assume what you mean is the combination of a DAC and amplifier together. In which case, best bang for buck, that's a dongle. The dongle is the combination of a DAC and as well as an amplifier. So bam, okay, best bang for buck. Just buy it, $10, easy. Jagar, thank you. Can you hear a difference between DSD and Flac? Is it worth the extra hassle for listeners to get it to work? Oh, okay, this is a spicy question. Personally, in my opinion, yeah, okay. Personally, in my opinion, I don't care about DSD because it's yeah, Flac is especially when it comes to 1644 Flac. I think that is more or less okay. It's fine. It's okay. And first of all, a lot of my favorite songs aren't on Flac, much less on DSD. So it's very hard for me to enjoy some of my more favorite tracks on a higher bitrate, unfortunately. But if you ask me, people are going to struggle to hear between a well encoded MP3, 320 MP3, versus 1644 Flac. And there's even less of a difference between 1644 Flac and like 24192 Flac. The differences get more and more minimal the higher and higher you go. So to me, it's like, yeah, you can enjoy whatever you want, but if you're asking me personally, I don't care about DSD. So please. Oh my god, there's so much super chats. I'm sorry for everyone that I'm ignoring, but yeah, I have to handle the super chats first. Sabrichi Jenna, thank you again. What's the best DAC amp for gaming? I need inline mic support. My option looks now is THX Onyx. Anything else? Yeah, when it comes to DAC amps, it's not that is not my forte. I say it's not my forte because I genuinely do not care. Because I feel like you should be investing more money into your headphones as well, as opposed to your amps and your DACs. But that's like a personal philosophy to me. So I don't want to say too much about this. There are ways. There are a lot of options, of course. But you say inline mic support. I think most like dongles nowadays would have USB. Not USB. Inline mic support as well, because there's like a TRRS jack. But in case that's not the case, you're probably better suited with like not a gaming headset, a USB headset that has both the headphones as well as the microphone. And if all of that fails, you just get an interface. Like me, I have a Motu M2, and all you have to do is just plug in your headphones through the headphone out, and then you still have an XLR output with phantom power for your microphone. It's like, oh my god, there's so much more. Okay, Bin Juice, thank you. Akrin, love what you do. Have you got any racks for any under $500 IEMs? Good for isolation and sound, basically good for use in public places. Cheers. When it comes to isolation, I always like to recommend people to go for Etymotic if you can handle it. But if not, under 500, my usual recommendations at that point would be the Blessing 2. Anything around, yeah, like 300 to 500, that's like only Blessing 2. I can't really think of anything that's like under $400 range. You're gonna go slightly above that, there's obviously the Moondrop variations as well. I know I'm shilling a lot of Moondrop, but they really make a lot of good products. And if you really if you want really something that's only about isolation, you go either an Etymotic, which is going to be slightly more uncomfortable, or you go for a custom IEM, like a cheap custom IEM where they take your ear impressions, and then what they do is that they make an entire custom bolt just for you, and that usually has about the same isolation as not slightly less than an Etymotic, but it's more comfortable in that case. Under 500, there's a lot of custom IEM manufacturers. I'm not going to give you too much info on that because yeah, it's like this is a different category of IEMs altogether. So just do your research on that one. Anything else? I'm sorry. There's so many. Okay, Fisk. Are you going to be making Bluetooth headphones recommendation list that I suggested a while back? Yes, eventually. It's just that it's going to take a while for me to go through a lot of the Bluetooth headphones. And I like to be a bit more thorough when it comes to these kinds of lists. So it's not like I'm going to create a list like, oh, here are the best Bluetooth headphones, and I only tried 5. I want to try like at least 20 before I start to do these kinds of lists, because that's just me being a little bit neurotic. Okay, Matthias Marek, thank you. Ideas for videos, more reviews. I know you think these are boring, but for us it is fun to listen to what you think. Educational videos about headphones or audio, how to build the cheapest measurement rate. Yes, one of the things that I want to do is how you as a DIYer or you as a hobbyist, if you wanted to get into measurements as well, there are cheaper ways that I've mentioned in my Linus Tech Tips video that yeah, you can do it yourself as well. But obviously it's not as easy as it looks. There's still some finagling to do. Yeah, that's in the works. I'm going to be talking about the IM6 rig, the IEC 711, as well as the new clone 43AG from AliExpress. So look forward to that eventually, whenever that happens. Jagar, thank you again. MQA opinion. I side with the anti-MQA crowd on this. I'm sorry. It's I don't see why MQA is why it should exist. It seems like like the fact that you pay royalties on a codec, just the format itself screams a lot of alarm bells are ringing in my head at that point. Like I've tried MQA as well. It's the same thing as like the whole FLAC versus DSD thing. I cannot hear a difference, and I don't think anyone it's hard for me to say that anyone can, because I'm sure there are some human beings out there who probably can hear the difference, but for someone like me who is relatively average, I don't pretend to have golden ears, I can't hear the difference. Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend that I do. Okay, Jeriel John, thank you. Thanks for your reviews. Bought plenty of IEMs thanks to your sign and advice. What keyboard switches do you prefer the most? Well, that's a nice 180 when it comes to a topic. So when it comes to keyboard switches, I initially loved. I went through the entire phase. I loved clickies. I still love clickies. Then I moved on to tactiles. And when I moved on to tactiles, I went with a boba U40, but then Frankensteined it to become a holy boba with the holy panda stems. And then after that, now I'm using linears. I used to use epsilon switches, but now I've shifted over to Aqua Kings on my Tiger 80s because I kind of like that bottom out mush with the and of course linears sound a lot better with a foamy board. Tactiles sound like ass on a foam board, so I usually don't like to put anything other than linears on even something like a Tiger 80. But that's a topic for a different time. That's like I'll probably do a video on the Mecha Store channel on all of these things. Yeah. Frantisek Velena, thank you. Please, will you add Austrian audio headphones to your ranking list eventually, someday? I'm trying to source some Austrian audio headphones. Unfortunately, they don't like to send out review units, or at least they don't like to send out review units to people like me. So something like, I mean, I've seen things like the X65 that look pretty like they have potential. So it's not like they are a complete dumpster fire. It seems like they have something going on, and I feel like that is a good thing. But eventually, whenever they send up to me, or whenever I buy one, or whenever someone loans me one, I will get to it eventually. So, gimmick music, thank you. No question, just want to thank you for getting me the headphones hobby. And I thank you, random citizen. So, ADVC, would you like an anime mascot of Squigbot? Jeez, fucking. You know what? Fine. If you want to go for it, sure. I at this point I have embraced the fact that I am very much intertwined with the weeb. So hey, hit me up on Discord. Fuck man. Wing Coolit, any new / recent IEMs that is comparable to the IER Z1R? Love the Z1R sound, not the fit. That's completely understandable. The fit is very gargantuous. In this regard, I'll say no, because I don't think that there are any like proper. I not say proper like, it's because the top end of IEMs, they are hard to build for a reason. So yeah, I genuinely wish, but I haven't heard, because the IR01 has that tactility to the base as well, and along with that super tweeter with the dynamic driver, it's unique. It's something that I've never heard and still have not. Nothing else has recaptured that magic for me. So yeah, until then, still waiting. Apparently, they've discontinued the Z1R. Apparently Z2R is coming. I'm hoping. Some random programmer, thank you again. Another keyboard question. Oh boy, you're gonna piss off all of the audiophiles here. Are keyboards with switches harder to press than shallow keyboard without switches? I'm currently using the thing. I'm assuming you mean like one of those like scissor or membrane switches versus like typical one. In a way, yes. Like it depends on the force, the actuation force. Like a lot of things can go all the way up to like 80 grams of actuation force. Whereas something like a laptop keyboard will go something like maybe 30 or 40 grams. I'm just saying off the top of my head. But in general, these are, yeah, that's just pretty normal. Thank you, Kianan Biekoglu. I'm sorry if I butcher any of your names again. I am a Chinese guy with a shameful amount of Chinese. Your thoughts on ear canal resonances? Everyone perceive the IEMs in different tonality, especially in the treble without EQ. Aren't they unlistenable? Yeah, so the big thing about IEMs is that because it bypasses the entire head, the entire torso, so the IEM manufacturer basically has to guess your head-related transfer function. What that means is that when they send the sound into your IEM, it is basically guessing how your head feels or your head shape is to result in all those resonances. So yeah, that throws a bit of a wrench in the works when it comes to IEM tuning, but in general, human beings don't vary too much when it comes to hit. I mean, it varies a lot when it comes when you look at it from a much more relative standpoint. But in general, you can still kind of guess and therefore still go for it. But if you have a problem with that, you could still just get headphones, or even better, you can get speakers right here. No head related transfer function to muddy the waters. Just get speakers. Yeah. So anything else? Azurio, opinion on the Sony MDR XBA50 APW. I don't know that one. I am so sorry. That comes out of complete blank. Normies seem to like it a lot. And what is your favorite clicky switch? I really like the Alp switches, but yeah, those are vintage and unfortunately hard to get. Ben Gunn, thank you. Can you review the HD58X Jubilee at some point, or if you have heard it already, give your opinion now? I have one of them. One of my fans sent me one. I'll be testing it soon, along with things like the HD6SX. That's currently the pipeline. Yeah. Caleb Sotiox. Any chance the new Crane X0 comes with tips that have bigger nozzle opening? I put a set of Moondrop spring tips and it sounded more full. Unfortunately, whatever you have gotten in the packaging is whatever you'll get in the foreseeable future, because once we have locked in the production, once we have locked in all of the accessories, we can't really change it after the fact unless we do a completely different MOQ and all that. Anything else? Okay, Fernando Antinoro. If the question isn't too personal, what did you have to do to become an IEM tuner and expert? How much is genetics? How much training? I don't think it's genetics in my case. Like I said, I like to think of myself as just a regular average guy with regular average hearing. I don't have golden ears. I don't pretend to have golden ears. And it's because of that I think a lot of people can relate to me, because yeah, it's not like I'm saying like, oh, I can hear up to 22,000 kilohertz. No, I'm just a regular guy. But how much is training is, yeah, you definitely need a lot of time to analyze a lot of the frequency response measurements, and just to know just the fact that like what you should tune to, what is the target curves that you should tune to, how much bass is too much bass, how little bass is too much bass, where's the rise, where's the dip, where's the roll off, all of which is all up to just how you, all the knowledge that you have gained over the years when it comes to all these technical expertise. So it's not necessarily that I'm more knowledgeable in specific engineering fields compared to the other engineers of all these audio brands, but it's that I have so much more experience when it comes to the consumer side that I can be the one that tells them that, hey, maybe don't do this, because most consumers seem to not like this kind of tuning, or so on and so forth. So it's not that you. So yeah, so it's not necessarily that you need to have like a very special ear, or you need to be like a god amongst men to do these things, because you don't really have to, or at least not in my case. I just tell them that, okay, here's what you do, and of course I slowly learn from there, like how exactly drivers interact, how different driver technologies work, and that's just all a learning process. So thank you, Robert Crandall. Don't die. Thank you. Don't die to you as well. Frost, thank you for the $5. And I think that's it. I think let's go back to the regular people questions. Oh no, at the moment I said that, someone donated. Thank you, RGZ. Personal question, but is there any IEM to upgrade from Etymotic? I'm aiming for ER4SR with better lows at the same isolation. ER4SR with better lows. The thing about the Etymotic sound signature is that while it's relatively diffuse field-ish, it's still quite unique. So ER4SR with better lows, I understand that point, but how about a slightly worse ER4SR in terms of resolution, but with better lows would be like the ER2XR? because I like my dynamic drivers. I'm a sucker for dynamic drivers. But yeah, maybe that. Okay, back to the regular people questions. No more donations, all right? Okay, yeah, I've been seeing so many questions on the 7Hz Zero. All right, guys. I cannot talk about the Salnotes Zero. I cannot. I I genuinely cannot. You can infer what you can from that, but yeah, I can't talk about it. Not yet. Thank you, Rawl. Hello there, General Kirby. Opinion on Star Wars? I'm actually not that big of a fan of Star Wars, unfortunately. But yeah, thoughts on the Beyerdynamic DT Pro X. Thank you, Matthew. The 700 and 900 is coming in eventually. It's just that, yeah, not quite. I feel like I've missed a lot of donations because I'm only looking at the top, like the live chat things. What of your opinions of the Sennheiser IE900? Yeah, so the IE900 is one that I've unfortunately skipped out because I didn't like it. I thought it was just like more of the same when it came to Sennheiser, which is why when in the IE600 came out, I was so much more enthusiastic, and to the point where, like, yeah, like forget about the IE900. At least for me, like I don't care about the IE900, but yeah, the IE900 is just it's all right to me. It's like I don't think it's a bad IEM. Uh, What would you recommend for about $100 that's neutralish with a mild bass boost? I can't use Etis because I can't fit them in my ears. Uh, Tin Hi-Fi T4. I mean, Etymotic is another one of them. Aria is relatively mild neutral-ish. Or if you want something less bass, there's always the Aria SE. There's the Titan S. There's a lot of options. Look through my ranking list. There's everything that's coming out of my off the top of my head. It's not great. Thank you for knees. Can you tune an IEM in such a way that my dad will come home? Unfortunately, your dad is lost forever, and no amount of tuning will help him. Banbu! Sup? What is your WPM record on Monkey Type 3060 all okay? On which board can you remember? I've actually hit most of my records on this current board right now. The more recent one would be 30 would be like 150. I was very close to 150, like, but I didn't break it. On 60 seconds, it's like 135, roughly. Yeah. But yeah, I like this board. It makes me type good. I like it. Anything else? Antonio Javier Sandoval Tavares. Good to sweat resistant butt slash headphones for training. I am not that guy. Please. I would say find a good TWS, most one that is like IP6 or X7 resistant, and then just go from there. Most of the time, like wireless stuff works well in the gym. Finding Japan artists, thank you. Is it worth upgrading from Kato to Timeless? Also, is it worth upgrading from B2 Dusk to Variations as an average guy? Kato to Timeless is a tough call. I know some people don't like the planar sound, so it's not necessarily something that is going to be 100% an upgrade. From the B2 Dust to the Variations, it's also a bit of a hard question because clearly I'm the one who tuned the Dusk, and I'm, conflict of interest. If I'm not gonna touch this topic, anything that relates to like what's my collab versus other products is gonna be hard for me. Okay, let me see. Anyone else I've missed? Jeremy, how much Coke Zero do you drink in a day? Too much. Everyone. Everyone. All these smokers telling me that I can't drink Coke Zero. What do you use on the go? My setup S12 plus FIO KA1. I currently use the Zero, the Truthear Zero, because I feel like the extra bass response really helps for outdoor use. Like, all of the all of the outdoor sounds that tend to drown out the bass. The extra bass just kicks it back in. Avinesh NMG Storm review when? So, for those who don't know, Storm is a new IEM from my friends at Subtonic. It's a very expensive IEM. It's like $5,000. So unfortunately, because they are my friends, I don't think that I can review them in good conscience. Or at least it's something where I would make a video for them, but I won't be adding it to the ranking list, similar to my collabs, because I've been friends with them for a very, very long time. So I don't want to say anything, because if I say anything bad about them, it's going to ruin the friendship. If I say anything good about them, it might be construed as shilling. So you can see where the conflict of interest comes up. Okay, next. Oh dear. Let me go. Supernova. Crin, when's the long-awaited headphone ranking list update? Edition access, tactile gang. Yeah, so headphone ranking list update. That's gonna be something that is obviously gonna happen, but yeah, there's not really a lot of headphones that are coming in, and nowadays I've been swamped with IEMs because IEMs clearly have been moving at the speed of light. You can see from the chat from here, most of the people that are asking me about things are IEM stuff. The headphone people are just like a dime a dozen. So Mattia Benito Ferrari, oh my god, that's a nice name. Any thoughts on the Jabra Elite 2? Absolutely not. Never tried it. I'm sorry. There's nothing much I can say if I haven't actually tried it. Yeah, who else next? Alvaro Gavaz. Oh my god, there's so many Spanish names here. Sorry, the message didn't go through on my last donation. IES Z1R versus Moondrop Mark 2. The fit on the Sony is rough. Personally, I prefer the sound on the Z1R. That's me personally, because I really, really love the bass on the Z1R. I don't think anything else has really touched it so far. And the treble is also the king on the Z1R. The treble on the Z1R absolutely kills the one on the Moondrop Mark 2, but obviously we're talking about very small differences here. Hey Crin, thanks for all your work. What is your opinion on the recent Hi-Fi Man releases like the Edition XS? I think the Edition XS seems to be a very good release from Hi-Fi Man, especially because I'm a sucker for all of that, the oval shaped headphones that Hi-Fi Man has released. You could see that I have the, what's it called, the HE1000, which then became the Edition XS, so the Edition X, which was also a headphone that I really liked. Then after that, the Edition XS right now. I haven't tried it yet, but reviews are good. Have you tried the, oh my god, no, I hate the chat. There's so many things. So many chats. I think I killed some of them. Okay, I'm sorry if I missed out some of your chats. I'm sorry. Aaron Huffman, I love my Dioko for fit and sound. They pair nicely with the Hebe Woo 1. What's that? What is Salnotes? Salnotes is a sub-brand of 7Hz. I've told them that it's a terrible idea, that they should not be making a sub-brand, but they did, and that's what happened. Now Salnotes is basically the budget version of 7Hz. I still think it's a stupid idea. Thank you, Veronica Lilo. Unity, $2. Can you review the Samsung fridge if they send me one for free? Yeah. Matthew Lance, thank you. Malaysian Naslamak is better. Fight me. Fuck. This is a mindful topic. If I say yes, if I say yeah, it is better, then the Singaporeans are gonna come after me. If I said like no, it's not, then the Malaysians gonna be like, how dare you say that? Yeah. I plead the fifth. Did I miss on anything else? Chat is going too fast. Okay, there we go. Smelly Man Cheese, thank you for the $7. The Galaxy Buds Pro are currently on sale at 150 SGD on Amazon. Would you recommend them over any other T-Buds at a similar point, aka the AKG N400? I'll say yes, at least in terms of features. But then again, there is a new Galaxy Buds that has just come out, so it's hard to say. unless I know exactly what the Galaxy Buds Pro are going to be doing, like how good the new Galaxy Buds Pro are. Hi Craig, could you help me decide between Sennheiser HD660 and HD600? I am a blatant fanboy of the 600. I do not like the 660, so this is a very easy question for me. 600 next. S85B50 engine. Did you hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? No, but have you heard of Darth Snekis the Debtor? Oh shit. Oh my god. There's so much. I need a way to properly catalog all of these chats, because chat is really going way too fast on this. Sennheiser 560S, still good for 200. For 200. I'll say yes, but clearly the value is not as high as it would be at that point. No. Okay, so here's the thing. At 200, it was a mistake. Or at least not a mistake. It's hard to recommend because at the time, the 6XX was 220. But now the 6XX is 280. So at this point, yeah, go for the 560S at 200. You really have no other choice. Raihan Ridja, Kryn, wondering what you do to maintain your ears. Easy, just clean or rinse out your ears after every shower. Don't do anything too much else. For example, don't use cotton buds. If you want to do a flush, that's okay, but don't do it too often because our bodies are a homeostatic reaction. There's a reason why earwax exists. So you don't want to completely clear out all of your earwax, but you still want a bit of earwax in your ears because it forms sort of a protective layer in your ear canals. It's more of a, like, don't overdo the cleaning because the body has ways to clean the ears. But obviously if it gets too bad, just clean it. Micro Opatic, Chronicle X Beats by Dre. If that happens, I would clearly do it. I am a massive sellout. Nasser Kalaf, have you tried the MP460 Mackie? I've never saw any review about it. No. If you'd like me to review it, send one over. Like it could be a loaner or it could be whatever. Just send it over. I'll measure it definitely. Have I? Okay, that's so. Pushyo. Thank you. Kryn, why are you mid-baselet? Also, any good recent-ish EST implementations? I don't like mid-bass because there's a very fine line between punchy bass and muddy bass. And unfortunately, the line gets the line gets very blurred, unfortunately. So my own personal philosophy when it comes to tuning is to just reduce the mid bass quite a bit. Obviously, that would offend some people. But that's just the way that I like to listen to music. I like the rumble, not so much the punch. But yeah, any good recent EST-ish implementations? Not to my knowledge personally. I can't really think of anything too much. David Ibarra, thank you. How would you describe the differences between tuning philosophy by USA firms, 64 Audio Campfire versus Europe versus Japan or Chinese? USA, I don't like to lump all these firms into like Geographical because I feel like it's more up to the brands themselves as opposed to something that is geographical in nature. So for example, 64 Audio has their own house curve, Campfire has their own house curve, and both of them are quite different. And same with Europe, where you have line mirrors and earsonics, the house curves are different. The Japan, you mentioned Kumitate and Aureolus, the house curves are different, and even the Chinese, where you have the Chi-Fi V-shape versus whatever Moondrop is tuning right now. Very different. It's hard to say that it's actually a geographical thing when it seems more like it's exclusive to the brand itself. Okay. Make some noise. Thank you for the 69. Funny digits. Yes, haha. Nice comedian. Renato Bittencourt Pechacho, again, I'm sorry if I butcher any of your names. What are your top 3 albums of all time? The second, okay, fine. The second album that I can think of is one that I was introduced to Mr. Boogeyman himself, because I was kind of out of it. Let me see if I can find it. Is it 032 Funk? Yes. 032 Funk. There we go. This one. I love this album. Very funky, new album by BY. Um, it just hits all of my spots. Love it, absolutely love it. If you like it, try listen to it on Spotify, whatever, and just send some love my way, huh? Their way. Okay, what are your thoughts on U12T versus Moondrop Mark II versus Z1R? The U12T has fallen out of my favor in recent times, but I still recognize it's a very good IEM. Out of the three, I would pick the Z1R still as my personal favorite. The Moondrop Mark II, I feel like it's personally at least slightly better than the U12T. Obviously, people are going to disagree with me on that. For example, Mr. Precock Vision, but this hobby is subjective. What are you going to do, huh? Gabriel Yao, hey, in the TWS space, how would you feel about the current flagships, especially the Noble Focus Pro and the B&O Beoplay EX? Well, you picked the two that I've never tried before. So, but from my own personal experience is that Noble doesn't seem to be able to do pretty good tuning nowadays, and B&O, I don't have a lot of trust on them, so take that how you will. I'm not saying that these two products are bad, I'm just going by my own personal opinions on the brand itself. Okay, next. There's so much. I need to go up. Oh no, I missed another donation again by someone. Okay, finding Japan artists. Thank you again. Then, is it worth upgrading from B2 to variation, or any thought for portable amp DACs? I'm thinking to buy one for outside use, but there's so much choices. If I'm talking about portable amp DACs, my choice is always a dongle. Dongle is portable, the most portable thing. And if it's worth upgrading to B2 to variations, sure. If you like the difference in sound signature at the very least. But yeah, clearly you can spend more on a digital audio player DAP, but if you don't want to, just get a stack. You can get a portable DAC and then a portable amp and stack everything together. That's really the old school way of playing the hobby. Oh, memories. The Vault, thank you. Should I buy the Tin Hi-Fi T3 Plus or Aria or EDM genre? In between the two, I would probably say Aria because it has slightly more bass, but that really depends on how much bass you want or what type of bass that you want. New Master 69, are Sony stuff actually good or just mainstream? Again, I mentioned this earlier in the stream. There's a difference between the mainstream stuff that Sony churns out and the high-end stuff that Sony churns out. And even within these two categories, it's very hit or miss. For example, I love the IER Z1R. I hate the MDR Z1R. And subsequently, I love the WF1000XM4, but I also hate the WH1000XM4. You can see where everything starts to get a bit weird. So not necessarily that Sony's a bad brand. They have good stuff and bad stuff. But I don't like to judge based on brand. What's new? Hello. How do you come up with IEF neutral, and what are some things people should look out for in the highs in any FR? Well, okay, so this is actually a bit of a complicated answer because I started with IEF neutral from the baseline of the Swiss Locky research, and that's basically that basically flat. What happens when you tune things to flat when it comes to standard 2cc, and then after, because that, yeah, so it's hard for me to explain in this stream. Yeah, so the people should look out for in the highs on any FR is that depending on the coupler that you're using, and even depending on the insertion depth that you have, the highs are going to look very different. So it's very hard to trust. That's why I say it's very hard to trust measurements above 10,000 hertz, because a lot of these resonant points are going to affect the eventual response on the high end. Did I miss out on anyone else? I'm sorry, I'm still loading the chat again. I probably need to increase the what's it called? The timeout window, not timeout window, the slow mode on this. So KVBK, thank you for the donation. Wistwall, thank you again. When will they make a DAC in a mouse? I wish never. Please get that imagery out of my head. Grumble, thank you. Ergo keyboards, Moonlander, Digma, Defy. I don't use Ergo. I've used a bit of the Alice keyboards or the Arisu as well. I thought it was nice in general, but I probably would not switch still. Yeah. I mean, that's because of the fact that I've been using standard layout keyboards for like decades at this point. I'm an old man. I don't like change. Get out of my lawn. Anything else? Chinese name. I can't read it. I am a naughty. I like my Westone UM Pro 10. That's absolutely disgusting. Can you name some songs that will expose its lack of treble and make me a good boy? I think that really depends on the music that you're used to as opposed to the actual music itself. Because if you're already used to music that has that you're hearing with a lack of treble, anything that you listen to that has treble is going to immediately sound piercing to you, and that clearly is not ideal. Yeah. Okay. Oh my. Have I gotten? Nope, not yet. I thought I went through everyone. What do you think the IEM at the optimal point of price to performance ratio is? Me personally, it has changed over the years. So at first it was like 800, then it was like 300, and now I feel like it's at sub 100, somewhere at sub 100. Because after that point, it makes very few sense. So like I said a few in a few streams or to certain people, I feel like $200 is now the new $1,000. The market is changing in ways that a lot of us cannot comprehend, and I feel like that's a great way for the market to progress. Is that the cheaper stuff are getting so much better. Did I miss out anything? Just scroll. Dear Uberzackerton, what do you expect from the HD 900 when it comes out in the unknown future? I expect the HD 800, but tuned with hopefully a more HD 600-ish mid-range, hopefully a bass boost, but I know that's a bit hard for an open back headphone. That's what I expect, or at least or at least when it comes to the HD 900, the new flagship. That's what I hope happens, but a lot of things are up to physical limitations. It's hard to say as well. Tainted One, Hook X or Timeless? I prefer the Timeless personally. You could see my Planar video and wherever it is, I clearly state that I have a preference for the Timeless. Jeremy, hello again. Do you like oral sex? Yes. Van Yongoyong, any Bluetooth speaker you use? Love your reviews. Bluetooth speakers. I know some of the JBLs are quite nice, but I used to use something called the Sony SRS X55. That was really nice. I really like that. Nowadays, of course, I have no need for a Bluetooth speaker. So I think the X55 is also discontinued, so that doesn't really help, does it? Anything else? Right. Renato Akira, is there a difference in sound between dongle DACs and desktop DACs? Can I use a dongle DAC with a desktop amp? Absolutely, you can. That's a great way to save costs, where all you do is just route a dongle straight into an amp. Yeah. But whether or not there's a difference in sound, this is a very controversial topic. Some people are going to say yes, some people are going to say no. It's very hard to give a straight answer. Me personally, I don't think that the increase in sound improvement is proportional to the potential cost that you may pay, because some DACs are like $500, and I don't think whatever improvements that I heard is worth even just a $500 increase. Grumble again. Thank you. UTWS3. That's a fear one. Plus Dusk equals waste. I'll say no, but I do have opinions on the whole like TWS case thing. So I think there's still a lot to do. For example, I like the fact that when you open the case, the thing starts pairing, and unfortunately the UTWS3 doesn't do that, or even a UTWS5. So it's kind of unfortunate. Feature highlight. Hey Crane, have you tried the Hibby IEM? No. Yeah. Hibby has not sent me a lot of things, unfortunately. Lulian, thank you. Got Sandara DT1. Got the Sandara DT1990 HD560S. Is Aria worth it? The questions on worth are the hardest to answer because that's personal. That's very personal. So I wouldn't. I mean, no, it's hard to say. Yeah. So Aria is a good headphone. Let's put it like that. Aria is a very good headphone. If you think that you would derive more joy out of the extra price, go for it. Yeah. I can't say because I got the Aria for free. Let me see. Who's next? That good, sir. Thank you. IEM that sounds like Audio Technica M50X. Why? Why would you want that? The M50X is a very unique sounding. I again, it's very hard for me to equate headphone sound to IEM sound. So, good luck with that. With that journey. Jeremy Time again. Say, ow, sound like fuck off. KVBK already bought 560s, a bit bright for me. Any suggestions? At that point, obviously, you probably want something like a HD600, which has slightly less treble, if not a 6XX, probably, if you like it. If you like that kind of slightly darker-ish sound. But yeah. Raphael, Ron, 10. Oh, right, that's the amount that you gave. Ranking list update when? Soon. Yes, I know. Everyone's been asking. Soon. Yes. Also, why do you hate on EJ07M? That's the Shure one, which is... I don't hate on it. I thought it was alright. It's just that... the M was the one that I thought was alright. The regular one I thought was kind of meh. So... when it comes to the EJ07M, I compared it with the likes of the Variations, with the Oracle, with the Monarch, and so on and so forth. And between all of those competitors, they are lacking, unfortunately. Yeah. Gabriel. Okay, there we go. Gabriel Theodore, what IEM has the best imaging / layering under $1,000? So, when it comes to IEMs, I don't like to talk about imaging and soundstage because personally, when it comes to soundstage and IEMs, they don't do it well. It's just a limitation of having to put something into your ears. So, yeah, best imaging and layering, I can't really say because I genuinely do not look out for these things when I test IEMs. All I test for is just the resolution, maybe the staging at some points, but mostly it's just resolution and tuning. Yeah. Grumble once again. My UTWS5 pairs randomly with the case closed. That's a problem. Yes. Salnotes Tri-Fi BT, other phrase from brand 2 because of it. UTWS3 works perfectly. Yeah, so to me, it's just, I hope the technology improves in the future, but at this point, there's a reason why I don't talk about all of these things, because there's always one thing that is weird about whatever new Bluetooth module is out there. Go up. Is that up? Okay. Okay, Gil Reynard, thank you for the $20. What's your favorite Empire Ears IEM? Ignoring price, would you rank any near or over the Monarch Mark II? Probably the Odin. The Odin is quite nice. It's just that I really cannot justify the price. It's very expensive for what it is, and there are still some small little weirdness when it comes to the tuning that is somewhat unforgivable at that price point. So yeah, Odin, I like it. It has tasteful bass. A lot of Empire Ears IEMs tend to have a lot of massive bass that overpowers everything, but the Odin keeps it tasteful and still somewhat powerful. Some people would expect me to say like the Legend Evo. Yeah, that's an example of too much bass. Sabritri Jenna. Is the new upcoming Moondrop Planar worth it? I have not heard it. I don't know how is it gonna sound like. So please don't ask me for any more details on it. I am not Moondrop. Racing me duele el culo. I have no idea what that means. Lulian 1. Got a Zanstack V2 plus amp. Would the Mojo 2 be a step up? Like I said, when it comes to DAC amps and stuff, I really don't care. I don't know. I don't focus on those things. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I focus on headphones and IEMs. It's because I know my way around these technologies. When it comes to amps and DACs, I would say it outright. I don't focus on them, and therefore I'm not as knowledgeable on them as compared to headphones and IEMs. Have we gone through all of it? Have we gone through it? All right, yeah, we've gone through all of it. Let's start with the regular people questions now. All right, SHP 9600. That is a headphone that I've ordered. It's on the way. It's just that I don't have a timeline on when it's going to come. And even if it does come, I still have a lot of other backlogs that I have to go through. So whenever it happens. So Parinia, are Monarch Mark II still S plus in your opinion after so many competitions have been released in recent years? I never said it was S plus. I said that the tuning is S plus, and I still stand by that. But yeah, I still think it's one of the most well tuned IEMs out there. So the one that really throws a wrench is more the technical performance, which I feel like I probably may have overrated it, but that's a conversation for whenever the ranking list update happens. Oh, Kado, thank you. Since the HD600 is the benchmark, what pair of headphones do you recommend that is closest to it at a lower price? I think one of the more common recommendations that I put out would be the AKG6 12 Pro. Yeah, one of them. I think that's the closest, and that's like at $150, but it's very cold, like sterile. It's boring. Like it sounds even more unengaging, so to speak, as compared to the HD600. So if you think you can handle that, why not, right? What's my next upgrade? No, I get another one. Thoughts on the Hi-Fi Man Edition XS? I've said it again. That eventually they'll come to me, but right now I can't really say much. But I really like the Edition X, so when it comes to Edition XS, I should like it as well. But surprises can happen. Darren Ong, thank you. What are your thoughts on the Acoustune HS1750CU? Unfortunately, Acoustune has blacklisted me from taking measurements, so I can't really say anything about Acoustune from now on. So, yeah. Complain to them if you want to. Gaming. There's so many gaming questions. Please, you guys know that I have a gaming headphones video that tells you that you don't need a gaming headphone. Refer to that, okay? Refer to that. Racing Fever, thank you. 7Hz Timeless or any other over-ear headphone. It really depends on what you want to. Some people would like an over-ear headphone, but if at the moment I recommend them an open back headphone, they'll be like, oh, I need isolation. In which case, just get the Timeless. Huh? Anything else? Francis, when critical minus. Yeah, whenever I delve into anime reviews, I guess that's when I deserve the minus. Oh, spicy question. Favorite audio store in Singapore? I've always supported Zeppelin and Co. They've been the most welcoming of me, and yeah. But recently, my relationship with a lot of other audio stores have been much improved. So I can't really say a favorite now, can I? But yeah, Zeppelin and Co. I hang out there quite often. I have a lot of friends there. Uh, there's also AV1. There is Connect IT. There is Jabin is another one. Anyone else? I feel like I'm missing the others. Jabin, Sam Audio is the one that carries the Dusk and the Dawn, not Dusk, the Dusk and the CRN as well, the Midnights as well. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of audio source there. Great, great. Looking through. Anyone? Have you tried the Sony Link buds? Unfortunately not, but it seems like people already say that it sounds like ass because it doesn't have any bass. It's an open bud. So yeah. Does fatigue? Okay, as someone who's easily getting fatigue from close back headphones, what parameters of headphones should you suggest for me to get prioritized? Um, Fatigued would mean I'm not sure if it means that you have a lot of sweat, but it also means that it could mean that it's just a sound signature thing. So a lot of close back headphones have a lot of bass. So if it's a sound signature issue, you want something that has less bass. If it's a sweat issue, if it's a warmth issue, you go for something that's open back. So yeah. Hey, thank you for Kyorai, thank you. When will Chronicle minus happen? Like I said, whenever I do anime reviews, because at that point I deserve the minus, because I would have been a degenerate at that point. Uh, some guy told me that Kato sounded better on his Xbox controller than on his iPhone with the Apple adapter. Why would that be? Maybe it's because the Xbox controller goes louder. I know that seems to be a pitfall that a lot of newbies tend to fall into. It's like louder equals better. So that might be an explanation, but at the same time, I've not tried the Xbox controller DAC amp, so I can't I can't say too much. I can't say too much. I don't say too much. Timeless or Kato, timeless. Everyone's been asking me timeless or Kato, timeless or Kato. That's really up to you. Just whatever that you do. Prefer the dynamic timbre versus the timeless resolution, so on and so forth. It's really up to you. Stop asking. Um, Anything else? What chair do you use? Right now, I'm using the Steel K Sleep V2. It's an old chair. I got it secondhand, and it has served me well for the last year or so. But I feel like I should upgrade because the chair itself is quite old, and I feel like I really need to change it. Um, Best IEM for classical. Do you like bass? So the thing that I see a lot of people is that for classical you want something that doesn't have any bass, and I'm like, yeah, okay, in that case get something that doesn't have any bass. Yeah, but it really depends because I know some people who listen to classical with a bass boosted headphone because they want to hear that sense of atmosphere that only a bassy set would give. So it really, really depends. So when it comes to genres, it's hard to say. Whereas if you tell me like, oh, I want to hear the cellos more, uh, I want to hear more cellos. I want to hear more violin. I want to hear more of the piano. I want to hear more of the drums. I want to hear more of the flutes. In that case, I can give you a better recommendation. But if you're asking for just straight up, oh, I just want classical. And it's like, yeah, it's hard for me to say. Like, do you want to hear just pianos, or are you listening to orchestral? It's a wide genre. It's hard to say. Uh, Luck, thank you. Can you hear the difference between 16 and 24-bit flag? No, I I don't think anyone would be able to because there's a difference of between like 96 dBs of SINAT versus like 108, 105 dBs of SINAT. No human being is going to hear that difference. Racing Fever, thank you. 7Hz Timeless versus WH1000 XM4. I want only sound. In that case, it's a Timeless. It's freaking easy. Kyorai, thank you again. Oh, wait. No, yeah, there we go. Kyorai, thank you again. Who is your favorite Apple keyboard owner? I don't get that question. Vikram Rathi, thoughts on custom versus universal? Custom is great because, yeah, it's literally custom molded to your ears, but unfortunately, there's not a lot of people who do customs, and customs tend to have a much higher price floor because you have to factor in the cost of doing the molds and everything else. Universal is always cheaper, but clearly you don't get the same comfort and you don't get the same feel as a custom IEM. It's yeah, that's just the basics of custom versus universal. Whether or not you're asking me which one I prefer, I clearly prefer custom, but it's hard for me to find a good custom IEM because, yeah, I just don't know why. I haven't found good ones yet. Okay, another one. Santosh, thank you for the $1, singular buck. All right, back to the regular people questions. Are Auto ZI signs a good choice if I use EQ? Absolutely. I feel like the drivers are very low distorting. They can go relatively high volumes without clipping. Yeah, a prime candidate for EQ. In fact, they need EQ. You cannot listen to them without EQ. They're terrible. Oh, more. Your thoughts on BT adapters versus TWS? Do you have any cable recommendations? If a good microphone? Thank you for your videos. My wallet hates you. Thank you. At this juncture, I would actually say go for TWS because when you're using a TWS or when you're using a Bluetooth set, at that point you're prioritizing convenience and portability over all else. And just a general usability of everything else. And currently, all the Bluetooth adapters don't seem to work very well. So my vote for this would be TWS. Just get a good TWS. Oh no, I missed out another one. Raphael, thank you again. Back to the EJ07M. I'm sorry. What is a set that has better technical performance so that I can understand it's lacking technical shops? I also own an S12. In all honesty, I feel like the S12 is the one that also beats the EJ77M. The S12 is great. It's amazing when it comes to technical performance. Yeah, that's a good example in my opinion. Chris, Subcrin, about balanced audio. Can I get it from using my PC motherboard? Do I need an external amp using DT 9900 Pros? I would generally advise against using motherboard audio because there is a lot of electrical interference when it comes to the other components on the motherboard. At least get a separate DAC, and that could include just using a regular dongle. And but balanced audio, yeah, if you're talking about balanced as in the power, like plus minus, and like having an actual plus minus on each channel, you would need an actual amplifier for that. So what you want to do is you have a DAC stack, and then after that you route it into an amp that has balanced out. That's if you want it. Yeah, personally, balance is just it's a meme. Personally. Okay, there we go. Kyorai again. Krin Wagyu burger again. Sure, why not? No. Actually, no. I want this the regular ass Ramly burger once again. For context, I had a Ramly burger in Penang, and for whatever reason, everyone else ordered a Wagyu burger at the same store, which is something I do not understand. Why would you order a Wagyu burger at a Ramly burger store? Santosh, $5. Thank you. Blessing to SNA versus Variation SNA. I don't have B2 to compare. It's hard to say because they are very different sound signatures. But personally, yeah, Blessing 2 is has been solid for a very, very long time. Variations is, to me, just a different flavor of the Blessing 2. So it's really up to you on whether you want more bass and if you're willing to stomach more of the extra cost. Some people would say the variation is better. I disagree, but clearly this is a subjective hobby. We are all allowed to disagree. Farhan Archtar, Fun IEM that contrasts the Helios. Budget is $700. Fun. Yeah, the moment you said fun, I was gonna say Monarch, but Monarch is not exactly fun. It's hard to say off the top of my head, because once you hit like the above $500 range, everything starts to get very balanced and not exactly fun. Maybe something that is super bass boosted, like one of the Empire, like what we said, the Empire Ears ones, huh? But yeah, off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything that's fun. I'm sorry, my brain is kind of melting right now. It's too many of you talking. Yeah, I'm not gonna say stop talking. Continue talking. Continue to talk. Actually, hold on. Let me just do a double check on how many people are here. Oh, 300 people. No, wait, 1,000. There's 1,000 people. I didn't even know there was 1,000 people. Jesus Christ. Okay, fine. We'll continue. Mana Fusion, thank you. I've moved on from headphones to IEMs for gaming due to not being able to handle the weight for long. Would you ever make a recommended gaming IEMs list? No, I made a video on that. You can watch it. It's just like use whatever you want. There's no such thing as a gaming IEM. That's about it. At least no. But I mean, in terms of signature, there are ways to EQ to have an advantage in games. But the IEMs themselves don't really have that signature, so it's hard to. I'll make a video on it if I ever get to it. Okay, who else did I miss out? Okay, Raphael, but I don't hear the better in the S12 versus this in the O7M. Well, in that case, yeah, then just stick to your O7M. This is a subjective hobby. Felipe Rodriguez, hey Crin, IF target, why no base shelf? Fletcher Munson curve predicts that more energy is needed on base. Is it really a flat base curve or more neutral? It's a flat base curve because it's supposed to be add base to your taste. So it's the same way that how the Harman target was derived, because what happened was that when the Harman target was researched, what they did was basically ask participants to adjust base and according to their taste. And the Harman target base was adjusted based on the average of what everyone else is boosting or cutting. So IF target is the same concept where it's flat for a reason. You add the base as you see fit. After that, which is why you see everything else when you compensate to IF neutral, a flat means flat. But when you do a boost, it means that there's a boost. It's at least to my the way that I interpret things is slightly easier for me. Tommy Wijaya. Wijaya. How about the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro? Any predictions? I've unfortunately seen the measurements on them, and it looks good. I'm honestly excited, yeah, but we'll see. Unity, I did not order a Wagyu burger. Good. Supernova Winya, again, thank you for the $5. How much do I need to spend to get a tangible upgrade from the GOAT MH755? Yes, that indeed a GOAT if you got a real set. Recommendations, or stick to the MH755. I've been hearing good things of the sub $50 market nowadays. I'm not gonna say what, but you could look at those. Not talking about the Salnotes Zero and the Truthear Zero is hard. It's hard. Gary Busey's Laserdisc collection. Thank you for $5. Any suggestions for upgrading from the Hi-Fi Man HG400s? The HG400 SE is actually, I consider that an upgrade. That's if you want to. If not, the next logical upgrade is always the Sundara. And then after that is the Aria or the Ananda. If you want to stick within the Hi-Fi Man theme, at least. Anything else? Okay, there we go. Racing Fever, thank you again. Something as revolutionary as a timeless in the headphone world. Okay, if it's opened back. Revolutionary. I mean, the revolutionary one in the headphone world would be the Sundara. Other than that, it would be probably the HG400 SE. At least on the cheap side. If you want to go like more expensive, you could consider the LCD5. I'm sticking with planars for now because I feel maybe you're only looking at planars. I would avoid Abyss personally. Anything else? I'll say no. Yeah, like usually when you talk about planars, it's just Hi-Fi Man versus Odyssey, and when it comes to Odyssey, people know my thoughts on that. No mids, please give mids. Oh, but they're fixing it. Apparently, the MM500 has mids now. Kyorai, thank you. Damn it, Crane. Only two of us ordered Wagyu burger, but you still ordered it. Disappointing. Anyone else? Ooh. Kitsune, thank you for the $2. Crane collab on the TWS when. Also love your content. Thank you, random citizen. I would collab on the TWS eventually. It's just that it takes when it comes to TWS, it feels like I don't want to go into a cheap shit TWS that, you know, something like a Soundpeats or some random chi-fi one. I want to do something revolutionary. Again, whenever I do a collab nowadays, I want to do something that is special, something that's unique, and not something that everyone has done. So I would do a TWS. It's just that I really need to think about whether or not it's properly good and special. Ace Silverwind, thank you. Would you recommend the SHP 9600 or stick to the SHP 9500, even though it was discontinued? Trying to find an open bag for under 100 buckaroos. I don't know. I haven't tried the 9600, but I have tried the 9500, and I don't like the 9500. It's too bright. It sounds like a worse HD 800, and that's not a compliment. Vikram Bharathi, thank you. Follow-up will be in Singapore shortly, and we'll have the opportunity to hopefully get a custom pair. Recommendations, audio 64 audio A12T. I actually would recommend against the A12T. It sounds a lot darker than the universal version, and for that reason, I usually point people towards something like the high edition sets that you can probably get at Zeppelin and Co. But that's my own personal opinion. I really love, when it comes to customs, I love high edition. They seem to sound the best in custom as opposed to sounding the best on universal. In universal, they sound a bit bright. On custom, they sound almost perfect. But that's really up to you. If you're already coming to Singapore, you might as well just try everything. Go to every single shop that I've shilled in the past, and just try everything. And if you like something, give it a shot. Yeah, just pull the trigger. Am I done? Am I done? No, I'm not. Someone asking me to read the free comments, but unfortunately, I have too many paying customers. Jose Antonio, thank you. How to know when you could benefit from a better DAC and or amplifier? I would say if you are, I think when it comes to upgrading a DAC and or an amplifier is when you are fully satisfied, well, not really fully satisfied, but you like your current setup and you want more of your current setup, as opposed to thinking that you want to fix something in your current setup. Because I feel like there's a trap that a lot of newbies fall into, is that they want something new from a DAC or amplifier, but they wanted to fix something in their headphones. And headphones, the DAC and amp will never fix something in your headphone. It will only enhance something, if you get what I mean. So if you're happy with your current headphone and you want more out of it, get a new DAC, get a new amp, but don't expect it to fix anything else. It's not going to fix things. Matthew Joseph, thank you. Upgrade from the Moondrop Plus ER4 for sub $300. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for something more neutral, you could probably go for like sub $300. Maybe the Blessing 2. Yeah, that's like sub €3. I'm not sure if it's sub €3, so that's really up. Yeah, but again, everything you could just look at my ranking list, sort by signature, and then go on from there. But off the top of my head, it is the Blessing 2. And why is my camera is cutting out quite often now? If it cuts out more, I'll probably I'll probably reset my camera again. Raphael, sorry, I'll rephrase. How to listen for technicalities. It sounds like when it comes to note weight, like whether or not something sounds sharp or flat or blunted, and then I have an article on it. Like, if you want to go online, let me see if I can find it. Tonal technical, yeah, it's this one. Windows, yeah, it's this one. Whenever you want to look at it, just like, just take a look. Yeah, it's just this entire article where I talk about tonal technical stuff, and just look at it. Just look at it. Let me see. Let me go out, go up. Okay, next one. It's Jen. Thank you for the $10. Aureolus is making a planar DDBA height tribrid. I'm interested to see how it turns out. Any thoughts on that bizarre driver setup? I personally would like to do a planar DD hybrid, and the only reason why I say that is because I don't see a need for the BA, because in my mind is that I would do a DD subwoofer with a planar full range, and the BA doesn't really have a place in anything else, because planars have very good treble extension. You don't want to add more treble to a planar with a BA, and they don't need any help in the mid-range either. So where does the BA go in this? I don't understand. So yeah, Aureolus can do that. I'm just ranting on the technical stuff. Like, I don't see a need for a planar BA DD tribrid. Racing Fever, thank you again, my guy. My God. Soundstage imaging 700Hz timeless versus WH1000XM4 over a year. Timeless. The XM4 sound congested and muddy, and everything's just in your head. I hate it. No. Peter McDude, thank you for the $1 and the poop emoji. Hell yeah. Shawnee Union, thank you for the $2. No question. Are you sure? All right. Your homie Sushi, sup bruh, thanks for the $5. I love your content. You too. Rex, thank you. Best over-ear wireless headphones. Currently, the landscape is terrible. Like, even the latest Sennheiser Momentum 4 doesn't cut it. But there is there is this, the AKG N700 Mark II. I've told myself that I'm going to have to make a video out of it eventually. But, oh my god, I've been delaying it for so long. But yeah, if you ask me for what's the best over-ear wireless, the N700. That's such a good headphone. Too bassy still, but such a good headphone. Cybuster, looking for thoughts on the Clear and Clear MG. I currently own the HD800S and LCDX. I'm looking for a daily driver that's more based in the 800S. I have talked about the MG. It's on my website. There's an article. There's a full article on that. And in my opinion, the MG is not great. It's a big step down, and I don't like it. So me personally, if you're looking for something that's clear, like in the clear line, I would go for the clear, the regular clear. But then again, it's also, if you want something that is more towards the HD600 side of neutral, the clear MG is more like the Order Z side of neutral, which is, again, something that I don't like. A Silverwind, now that I've heard your feedback between the two earlier, do you have anything open backs that are under 100 in mind right now? Also love your content, thank you. Anything under 100, I have only one option, and that is the KSC 75. I've not heard of another open back under $100 that even beats the KSC 75. Yeah. Vicky, oh yeah, the chat just keeps jumping whenever I scroll down. Vicky Rajkumar, thank you, my bro. Have you tried the Meze Elites? Yes, I have. Yeah, it's all in my my video on the on the why I think Meze is bad. The Elites are a good step up from the Empyreans, but it's still not great. Still, not for the price. Absolutely not for the price. But yeah, if I could get an Elite for like $300-400, I think it's a solid deal. Mikkel 23, thank you. Again, no message. Are you sure? Are you sure? All right. Moving on. Renee Estevez. Ah, so many Spanish names, I swear. Is it Spanish or is it Mexican? I don't know. I'm sorry again. Again, I'm not intertwined with any other languages. Sup, Crin, loving the Truthear Zero so far. Do you have any recommendations on music player software on Android and or iOS? Not really. If Android, I mainly use Spotify with the stock app. Sometimes I would go for Power Amp because they have the parametric equalizer on it. And on iOS, you are shit out of luck. Like iOS is terrible for portable music listening, unfortunately. But yeah, Android, most people would recommend you to use Power Amp. There's like Neutron Player at some point. I'm just saying things off the top of my head at this point. Yeah, so and then you can use Wavelet for EQ. Floony Floon, thank you for all the great content. I love my HE400 SE and I'm interested in jumping into a planar IEM. Do you think now is the time to jump in with the S12 or Dioko, or should I wait a bit? There's a lot of new planar IEMs that are coming out now. Now we're in the planar IEM boom. So whether or not it's all of them are going to be good is we still have to see, because there's a reason why planars have been kind of put to the back seat for a lot of the IEM market's existence, and only now have they been starting to develop the planar IEMs again, because it's hard. Like yeah, there's sometimes you just don't get good planar IEMs out there, and the new ones could be good or they could be terrible. So if you want to buy them, just buy them. Cordell Benali, hey Crin, want to know what you think of the Repco Hook X again? I have a video on that. The Planar Wars video thing. Just go there. You have my thoughts on the Hook X. But yeah, just a quick one is that I feel like the Hook X is one of the more well-tuned planar IEMs out there, and I really love it. It's just that when it comes to the technical performance, it sounds very blunted. It sounds very mushy, and I don't like it. So overall, I still prefer the Timeless. Shinowo, have my babies and give them God hearing, please. Again, I don't have any golden ears. I'm just a regular guy. I'm just a regular guy who's been nerding out on IEMs for longer than most people. Some random programmer, hello again, found this question in the chat and legit want to ask the same thing. Should I get a DT990 Pro or a DT770 Pro? Okay, so when it comes to the 990 versus 770, 770 is the close back. It's the studio monitor. That's the one that everyone uses for tracking and for monitoring. And the 990 Pro is the one that is absolutely notorious for having the most amount of treble. Just shit fucks your ears with treble. So between the two, I would reluctantly say the DT770, but at the same time, I far prefer the DT880. So do with that information how you will. But clearly, I have alternatives to every one of these. Carl Toribio, what are your thoughts on dynamics? Do you index it for your technical ratings? For example, some reviewers rate my IER M9 as having mediocre dynamics. To a certain extent, yes, but I don't really hear the M9 as having mediocre dynamics personally. Mediocre dynamics would be something like the Drop Panda. The Drop Panda is one of them. I hate it's so mushy and I hate it. Yeah. Oh yeah, I do index it somewhat. Oh no. Oh no. I missed, where is it? Mikhail 23, thank you. Could you reiterate your opinion on Abyss headphones? I think they're poorly tuned. They're poorly built, apparently, according to all of the reports I'm seeing of like crinkled diaphragms and weird pads and so on and so forth. So I don't have that much respect for Abyss, whether it being from a company standpoint or from an audio enthusiast standpoint. Yeah. Just all of them just tune wonky and don't like it. Broccoli Man, thank you for the $2. I will use it to buy more broccoli. Kowloon Dram, hey Crin, big fan. Would love to hear your thoughts on the resurgence of surround sound with Atmos 360 reality spatial audio. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that DSP is now being normalized more and more within the mainstream, because DSP for the longest time, at least within the audiophile space, has been vilified. It's like, you how dare you use DSP because DSP makes your sound somehow worse. And I don't subscribe to that. I feel like DSP should be the future of audio, and seeing that all of these mainstream companies are trying to basically get better audio for slightly cheaper because they're using digital signal processing, it's a great thing. I love it. I wish it continues, and I wish it goes further. Yeah. Pepper Pockets, thanks for $5. Hi Crin, love your opinion on what a good neutral closed back headphones would be for under $300. Love the vids, thank you. Neutral closed back. I feel like at that point there's not a lot of options. I'm trying to think. There's the AKGs that follow the Harman curves, the 371s. There's Shure. There's the Shure 840s. Those seem to be pretty good as well. But not a lot of them are very expensive. Those are like under 200, so under 300. But in general, I feel like closed backs have these kinds of limitations, and they are cheap for a reason. It's because you're usually using them for monitoring, studio monitoring, and at that point you want something cheap and you can just throw around and replace whenever you want it to be. Something like the HD25 tracks the Harman target as well. It's just that it's quite a lot of bass. I wouldn't call that neutral. Okay, yeah, Chinese guy again. I need to learn how to read Chinese again. I also have a blessing too, but compared to the UM Pro 10, I really don't know what to listen to. What is treble and treble is just the high frequency, like the that's treble. That's treble. Yeah. Have you tried like HC Sound Heart Mirror? Any thoughts? No, no, I haven't tried that, unfortunately. Moondrop True versus 7Hz Salnotes Zero. Which one is better? I cannot comment. Next. Unfortunately. Kyurai, any endgame IEM you would recommend for J-pop? Fuck. Fuck, just buy a Kumitati or something. Buy a fit ear. Buy something Japanese. Because I don't listen to J-pop. I listen to some J-rock, but J-pop is completely out of my depth. Oh no, I missed out something. Manuel Jin, hey, Crin, how's the 5128 measurements going? It has not come. They've delayed it. I've ordered it in March. They delayed it in April, they delayed it in May, they delayed it in June, they delayed it in July, and now they tell me it's coming in mid-September, and hopefully I'm going to hold them to that. But yeah, very interested to see the differences with 711 and 43AG, especially for BA6 and new IF neutral. Yeah, hopefully everything's on the pipeline. I just need that goddamn measurement coming in right now. Yeah, eventually. Is that all? All right? Are we back to the free people again? Okay. Is Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro still king in the TWS? I feel like it still is. It's just that I'm not necessarily. I don't have the new Galaxy Pro 2, so I can't say too much. Yeah. Invuska, thank you. Thanks to subliminal advertising to buy Dusk flows right free in my head. So PSA to buy Dusk. Yes, buy Dusk. Not according to me, according to this donation. So, buy Dusk. So much conflict of interest. Okay. With all the new sub $100 IEMs that have come out recently, would you still rank the Aria as the top choice? Yeah, I still would. Or at least it's in line with the Juno Titan S. Yeah, they both perform very similarly, and the market is still going on. It's still chugging along, and it's going to get even better and better in the coming years. Infernus, thank you for $2. Love your content. Unban me from your server, please. Please contact one of the mods. I do not want to handle unbans at this time. Grumble, Susvara Amp. Very, very touchy topic. Some people would say that you need a speaker amp to use a Susvara with because it's relatively low in sensitivity, just like its predecessor, the HE6. In me personally, I can drive it relatively well out of my A90, and I've said it before, because of the volumes I play, I can drive it out of my Apple dongle as well. It's just that people get very, very offended when I say that. Even though I said that the Susvara is one of the best sounding, if not the best sounding headphone that I've ever heard. But again, subjective hobby, whatever you want to spend your money on, I don't want to judge you too much. Anything else? Do you think MEMS speaker has a future in the IEM scene? MEMS speakers are very similar to BAs and BAs to more like piezos. Yeah, they're closer to piezo electric drivers currently. If do they have future in the IMC, maybe, but nowadays they have been used more as, if I remember correctly, as microphones for phones as well as inline microphones as well. I've not seen them being practically used. I know there are some from USound. USound is one of the main manufacturers of MEMS drivers, I believe, or one of them at least. They have one product. I have not tested it, so unfortunately, everything is still up in the air. Aksisuki, hello. Why do you hate flathead earbuds so much? I send you one that's liked. Would you change your mind? I don't like earbuds because they are an inherently compromised system. There you don't get any bass, and the fact that just the tiniest shift of an earbud changes the frequency response completely means that you're always going to be having a constant channel imbalance. But sure, if you want to send me one that's liked, I will test it, but I cannot promise that I will change my mind. Yeah, send me one. Why not? Right. A Civil Win, thank you again. CRN, any evil collabs to collab with Truthear Zero? Next. Cheng, hello. Hi, Green, thanks for all the measurements. Wonder whether different amplifiers make audible differences on sound besides power and max dB output. Some amplifiers have different output impedances, so that would change the sound of an IEM if the IEM has a non-linear impedance curve. So, for example, the most significant example would be the Campfire Andromeda, where if you put an Andromeda into an amp that has a higher output impedance, it would sound brighter. Brighter. Yes, it will sound brighter. Whereas if you put an Andromeda into something that's close to zero, then yeah, it will sound much warmer. What's Brandon doing? Brandon, the Dota addict. But yeah, okay, fine. We're almost at 2 hour mark. We will end it up soon. We'll end it soon. Anything else that I've made? Okay, back to the free people. Okay, no, not free people. Kirke is Dota time. Boogie sacrifice. Dota! Dota! Oh, you Dota addicts. Back to Grumble. I'm in love with my Edition XS. Is that equivalent? Oh my god, wait. Is that equivalent sound to dollar IEM of the Dusk and Timeless? Again, I have not tried the Edition XS. I would not know. It's, yeah. Yeah. Clee. Oh wait, Clee. Love your vid. What's the difference between Now's BA and other BAs? It's just how they approach designing a BA. So, for example, with Now's, they have been here for the longest time, which is why you see them being used in the most number of components. Sonian seems to be doing a lot more different things with their BAs. So, for example, there is the AccuPass 3800 series of woofers. Those are pretty nice. I quite like that. But yeah, different manufacturers have different ways of approaching the BA design, which is the same way you could approach any other industry as well. Is there why are my mods spamming me to end? Shh, silence. There anything else? Quick question. Do you like the HD6XX from Moondrop, and what amp should I buy from them? I have the HD6XX currently somewhere, loaned from me from a member. If I forget your names, I'm sorry. But and when it comes to amps, my stance on that. Get dongle best value, I guess. Jovi Shum just ordered an A12T based on the U12T demo. Cry Evertim. VN2B demo sounded too bright for taking. Will customs really make that big of a difference? When it comes to customs, yes, because it inserts into your ears a lot deeper than a standard like universal design. So the resonance point will shift downwards and upwards, and therefore it will sound less sharp. But at the same time, it's hard to predict as well. Depending on your ear canals, they might have to do a short nozzle. A lot of things that are hard to say. Yeah, but if you order the A12T based on the U12T demo, you should expect that your A12T would sound a lot darker than the U12T. So that's really something to take note of. Carl wait, where is it? Carl Toribio. Do dynamic drivers types makes a difference? I prefer the Aria Snow Edition smoother travel with the Aria, but that just might be a tuning. Yeah, it's more or less a tuning. I heard that you're using a different driver, but in general they sound very similar. It just sounds like the Aria Snow Edition is a more bright tilted version of the Aria. Yeah. But in terms of different dynamic drivers, yeah, I've heard certain dynamic drivers sound more technical than the others. So it really depends. Noah Tricks, thoughts on the TriStar C's technicalities? It's okay. It's like, it's alright. It's like it's like nothing. It's just alright. Okay, wow, everyone is telling me to turbo. Okay. But okay, let me do a poll, because how would you guys feel about me doing these kinds of live streams, like maybe once a month or maybe once a week? I don't know. Yeah, so it really depends. Like, give me your thoughts. Should I continue this live streaming, or should I just like, hey, make this like a once a year thing? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Should I continue live streaming like this? Yes and no. Yes, do it. Okay, now do it monthly. Yes, do it weekly. Nah, it's okay. Okay. Poll is up. Anyways, oh, there's more people. Grumble, listen to Edition XX first. I will, eventually, someday. Carrie Kate speaks. I fly to SG and teach speaker design. Turbo. Yeah, fly over. Why not? Try it. Okay, we get in. Okay, another one. Starro, Crane thoughts about the HD58X. I'll try it. It's in the back somewhere. I will try it eventually. Godfather Miguel, hello. Hey Crane, much love from the Philippines. Any plans of visiting the Philippines anytime soon? Yes, someday, eventually. Have I been to the Philippines before? Actually, I haven't. Yeah, I've been to Indonesia. I've been to Malaysia. I've been to Thailand. I've not been to Vietnam. Yeah, yeah. Philippines is on the agenda eventually someday. Yeah. All right. It seems like do it monthly is winning the poll. So I will probably do it like once a month. Yeah. I just need to determine like when, like which part of the month I should do it. Any more? Green, what do you think of the Symphonium Helios? Helios is on a ranking list. I think it's A. Good, love it, but that's slightly not for me. When would you make a good bass cannon IEM? I tried with the Eclipse, but if you want even more bass than that, then clearly that's going to be a different topic altogether. Nuru, any thoughts about the MDR CD900 ST or the M1 ST? I do not like the Sony studio monitors because the imaging on those are absolutely terrible. They sound like they're beaming things straight into your head, and I do not like that. The imaging is very, very focused. It's good for monitoring. It's just really, really terrible for music listening. Richminder, thank you. Have a FH7, like the sound, EQing, make it EQ a bit, make it brighter, makes me love it. Any reco for an upgrade, considering that you would like to get an idea of sound, I like. Brighter version of FH7. I want to say that that's very close to the blessing, but yeah. Because if I recommend something like the Yanyan Aladdin, that's too downsloping for you. The Aladdin's very close to the FH7, and then if I go for something that's a bit more high end, yeah, you probably want something that's more bright tilted, and that's yeah. Anything else? I'll take like a few more questions and then we just end it. I'm sure we're closing in on 2 hours. All right. The people want me to Dota, unfortunately. Crin, any suggestions of any warm Harman that's not Samsung Buds Pro or warm neutral that is not IAR-M9s? That it's not the Buds Pro or not M9. Why do you eliminate the two biggest like options in that price category? Yeah, I can't really think of anything, honestly. Jimmy, thank you. What's your opinion on the Sennheiser HD 700s? They're absolutely terrible. I heard them a long time ago, and then I wish I could hear it again because they were. Oh. Anything else? Is the Dusk a decent upgrade from the ER4? I can't say. I cannot say. These things are conflict of interest. Like if I say yes, it's gonna be shilling. If I say no, it's gonna affect my income. It's conflict. Jelly Donut, how large is the jump from the Arias to the Blessing 2s? I'll say in resolution it's quite a big jump. Most people would say that immediately. Yeah. Oh my god, why is there everyone is donating all again. Dota, what medal? What hero do you like the most? I play Dota socially. You can see from the all of my friends asking me to play Dota right now. I do not play competitively. I don't even have a medal. I used to have an MMR of like 3,800 or 3,900, and then I quit like in 2017. And then they asked me to come back, and I was like, okay, but I'm only playing socially. I'm just gonna play Turbo. Yeah, hence the chance for Turbo. Michael, oh wait, yeah, favorite hero is Tree and Protector now. It used to be Tinker, but now it's Tree. Michael Timpson, earwax wedged into TNT2 Pro, now channel balance, can't get the wax out. How to fix? Use hydrogen peroxide, and then or use alcohol wipe. Hopefully you can dissolve the earwax and then just clean it up from there. Yeah. Hey Crin, thanks for the great videos. And then a headphone comparison question. What are your thoughts on the R7BX or the Hyphen Sandara for music and games? I will prefer the R70X for games, but the Sandara for music. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah. Anything else? Oh yeah, there it is. GX Slim, thank you. Hi Crane, appreciate the content you're making. I wanted to try the stuff from Den Cloud. I tried it. I feel like it sounds very low. The dynamics in there is just I don't want to say non-existent. But it's not there. I'll say it's a very well tuned set. I love Harman over ear target. Yeah, but it's just not for me. Tommy Wijaya, and it seems to mostly like the AKG tuned sign. Any special? Yes. it really depends on which AKG, because the AKG, for example, the AKG 712 and the 812, terrible, don't like those. But the 701, 702, and the 612, those are great, love them. So it really depends on which AKG. Matthias, Millie, Inacio, Furtado. Jesus. Hey, Corinne, do you have a chance to try the Moondrop Alice? That's a Moondrop Alice. Never heard of it. But I will look it up. I will look it up. Okay, last one. I swear, last one. I think my Chew is starting to get a left-right imbalance. Should I buy SSP or buy a Chew detachable cable mod, or are there any budget recommendations? Do you like the Chew? If you like the Chew, just move on, just continue with the Chew. The SSP is going to be a lot different. There's going to be a lot more upper mids and a lot more lower mids, and the signature is going to be quite wildly different, even though it's technically neutral. So it really depends on whether or not you like the Chew, and if you've tried the SSP. If you try the SSP and you like it, try it. Yeah. Okay. We done. Any more donations from here, unfortunately, will be ignored. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me in place of a video this week, unfortunately. Joining me on this nice and chill Sunday. Not technically now it is... Oh, it's not yet Monday yet, but yeah, it's close to Monday for me. Yeah. So regardless, anything else? Nothing else? Okay, see you next week. Don't die. Fuck off.